What is up, guys, and welcome to the Just Cosplay Podcast, formerly known as the SS Coscast or the Superior Spider-Man Cosplay Podcast, but that was all shortened down, but we're nice and simplified now because we have clearly branched out. I have two guests with me today. We got multiple topics to talk about, quite a few things, both of them which portray both of these people. Let me change my settings here on my phone. Give me just one moment. And I can't because I'm in low power mode because my phone hates me. Which, by the way, I'd like to apologize for any of those low-quality videos and photos that was not taken on the iPhone 13 Pro. That is not sponsored by Apple unless they want to. Anyway, on with the video or the podcast, the channel today. Guys, so let's go ahead. Let's get introductions out of the way, what the podcast is, things like that, so we can get right into the meat of this meal. The Just Cosplay Podcast is as exactly as it sounds. It's just about cosplay, talking to anyone that wants to cosplay, has cosplayed, has been cosplaying, anyone that wants any new tricks, tips, or wants to start that hasn't, that sees like it might be fun, has never been to a convention. It's basically taking everything that we know about cosplay, that I know, that my guests know, and relaying some of those facts, tips, knowledge, anything to all of you beautiful, wonderful people who have seen it and want to give it a try or want to try and go to a convention. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. You have a great time. You meet a lot of really great people. Here are two prime examples with me here. That's pretty much what it is. It's as simple as that. If you have any questions, you can always get in contact with me through Instagram, and we'll bring those questions up on the podcast. That's exactly how it works. And so let's go ahead and do introductions. So on the lower end of the podcast spectrum down here, we have Matt. He is currently outdoors. He's doing some stuff, so he's not going to be with us the whole thing, but we're going to try to get everything that we need from him out of the way so that when his stuff is ready and he can go, that he can go freely and we don't have to, hunt him down and hold him in a chokehold or anything. Matt, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. I'm doing real great.
All right, awesome. And the next person that we have next to us right here is Brian. Brian, how are you doing, my bud?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem. All right, so MegaCon. Finally, we're talking about it. I'm going to be doing a video with some of my photos and videos and things like that I asked. I just kind of wanted to get some additional perspectives from you guys as well. I wanted to have like 2 or 3 more people on here, but we don't. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But MegaCon, what'd you guys think? How was it?
Busy.
yeah, that'd be one word for it.
Yeah, Saturday was crazy. That MegaCon was my first, I'd call it major con.
Okay.
So it was quite an experience for me. But
this year was your first?
My first major con, I would call it. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Last year was my first. So.
Same here. Last year was my first as well. So we're all still relatively new to MegaCons. But I did want to kind of discuss a little bit about it. So aside from Saturday, obviously being busy, I mean, they had, I think, over like 200,000 people in attendance on Saturday. Was like the calculated number. I mean, hell, I saw one of the lots completely filled up just for my hotel room alone. But the other days, Friday, Thursday, Sunday, what did you guys think? How was it?
I thought it was awesome. I always enjoy going to MegaCon. Last year was my first MegaCon that I actually got to go to, and this year I actually hosted a couple of panels, worked with a few people that put on the convention, and it was. I thought it was awesome. It's always a great time.
All right, very cool. Yeah, that's actually something that we did want to talk. I did actually want to talk about as well after we get past the MegaCon is some other stuff that you are either like helping host or co-hosting or something like that with like a PopCon and stuff as well.
Yeah, I'm actually the producer.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there you go. And then Brian is actually also going to be a cosplay guest there. So. From what I saw. So very cool. I'm actually glad I was able to get both of you guys in the same podcast. That was really cool. So after parties, did you guys go to any of the after parties at all?
No, I was white. I need to
fair enough.
So I learned the hard way that I need to have a crotch zipper installed on my Captain America cosplay suits because it is.
That's always fun to find out last minute, isn't it?
It is. Well, I mean, I can I can fast all day, like, and just drink water. But then by the end of the day, like 3 in the afternoon, 4, like I'm just
you're starving,
and I want to go take a nap almost, like which I actually did on Saturday as I went back and ate and like just laid down for an hour or so, and then came back to
Right.
MegaCon. But after parties, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna.
Yeah. I
Do you
did.
wanna-
I
do it.
attended the opening ceremony after party on Thursday, and I attended the Moshi after party Saturday night. Both were great. I had a great time at both of them. A lot of really good energy, a lot of really cool vibes. I definitely drank during MegaCon weekend, which is I actually drank more than I ate, and mixed in with all the walking I got from going everywhere. I ended up losing, I think, like 2 pounds, probably 2-3 pounds. When I got back and was like, damn, I look good. And then I obviously ate and put it all back on relatively quickly. So now with the PopCon coming up in like 2-3 weeks, now I'm already back on my my diet regimen that I got going on, where it's mostly just protein and then exercise. Seeing as how I'm not trying to like get stuck in my suit. So that was kind of the major thing I did want to talk with you about MegaCon is obviously like a lot of panels, a lot of really great cosplays, a lot of really great people. What is some of the things, obviously with MegaCon, like MegaCon is like the biggest convention in Florida that I know of, other than potentially maybe SuperCon, maybe. If that's the one, I think down in Miami, I think is the right name for it. But I know that, MegaCon is like a very big one, normally in the Central Florida area. What are some kind of things that you guys experienced that would maybe help people that have never been to MegaCon, that would be good advice for them? That way they know kind of what they're getting into. Because obviously, like Brian, it being your first, and Matt, it was your second, it was my second as well. Like me and Matt, we went in with a little bit more knowledge than we did last year. You obviously, Brian, learned some things along the way. What are kind of some things that people who've never been should know?
Drink plenty of water.
Definitely.
Yeah. If you can only go one day, I would not pick Saturday if possible. That's like, Saturday's a fun day to experience, but if you can only go one day, pick Friday or Sunday or something, and enjoy a little more breathing room. But
yeah, absolutely.
Especially
if you want to get more shopping done too. If you want to get more shopping done than actually seeing stuff or getting more like autographs done, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, those are the better days to go. I love attending the full weekend. I intend to next year as well. They've already got the dates out, February 1st to the 4th. The only thing that upsets me about those dates is that I don't get my vacation days until the February 22nd. So I'll have to improvise on what the hell I'm going to do to get those days off. If I have to call in, I'll call in. But either way, I'm going. So
request now.
If James's bosses happen to be listening, James is just kidding on that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm dead ass serious. Nah. You think I care? No. I'm already getting irritated to the point I might actually put my 2 weeks in, but I'm holding out for a better position.
I would say, the one other thing I learned Sunday afternoon as I was getting ready to leave was you don't have to go inside on one side of the building and then go downstairs and walk through everything and spend half an hour doing that. If your intention is to get to the other side, you can go around.
Yeah, just go around the outside.
Didn't learn that till Sunday afternoon.
Put up with the heat. Put up with the heat.
Especially this year, that was a big thing.
Minutes, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was hard to get through crowds this year. And that's but absolutely no. I actually I don't know if you guys both know Charlie, who was in attendance, but he's a friend of mine. But he actually came up with a brilliant idea that he might do that I might copy him next year. And it's, you go in, you buy everything you want to buy, get all your signatures you want to do, everything on Thursday, Friday, Sunday, get all that done. Saturday, either don't go, just stay in the concourses, or just stay outside. Just enjoy the day, because it's in that central area down where all like the booths and everything are. It's so crowded. It would take you longer to get from the south to the north side going through that way than, again, like Brian said, just walking around the exterior of the building. And there's plenty of cosplayers outside taking photos, hanging out, and just, getting a minute away from everybody. And it's never a bad thing, obviously. And if you get there early, you can, go there a little early, go in a little late. But definitely during those like peak hours on Saturday, I would just say either stay in your hotel room if you have a hotel, go rest up for Sunday or whatever if you want to go back Sunday, but just kind of take a break and just stay away from it from, like, I would say probably like 12 to 3 on Saturday, and just relax a little bit. and not even really bother going down onto the main floor. But everything other than that, I thought I totally agreed with him on that. But we actually, I think like Saturday afternoon, it was like 2-3 o'clock. We dipped back to my hotel room and just had a couple shots and just relaxed. And he actually helped me squeeze into the Spider-Man suit you guys are seeing right here on the screen. Which that was so.
But you did a fantastic job with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. But it was not fun to squeeze into. I actually last night I tried to put it on for a TikTok, and it took me 20 minutes to get into it by myself, because there's a specific point. It's like the middle point on my back where I had to zip. I had to get it like not even an inch further up, but my gauntlets are actually hot glued onto the suit. I plan on maybe doing Velcro eventually, but that was just kind of a quick fix for that to get those on there, because I really wanted to debut those and show those off, because I've been holding on to those for like since last MegaCon when I first got my 3D printer. And the main thing I wanted to do though was just show those off, but the corner on the on the gauntlet was digging into my wrist, so it hurt to try to zip it up. So I was sitting here trying to get it. So for like 20 minutes I was just sitting here positioned like this trying to get it off, and taking it off was just as bad. But it's very tight because the entire thing is completely custom painted. The entire upper torso is all puff painted, so it has no give anymore. It doesn't stretch. There's very little stretch to the arms and the legs because of the fabric spray dye that I used. So it was a whole thing. Fun project. 4 weeks though to work on. I'm not entirely done with it yet. The entire back piece I still want to replace. I need to print off like the smaller pieces of the gauntlet to put on there. So it's by no means yet done, and I actually plan on battle damaging that suit anyway. So all this work is just going to go into weathering it and then fucking it up. So, oh well. But I actually have the intentions on getting another suit that won't be battle damaged. It'll be like, clean, pristine, and look really good. And then I'm also going to do a symbiote variation. So Superior is my favorite, so I'm getting all the variations for his suit. Obviously, if it's the symbiote version, I'm more so going to lean towards trying to make the Superior Venom than trying to just do a basic symbiote suit. Even if that might be harder, it'll still be more worth it. But that kind of being said and done out of the way, kind of back on the topic with MegaCon did you guys like meet anybody? Or I know Brian, I saw you in the middle of doing a photo shoot with Jeff Jenkins, I think was who it was.
Yeah, it was Sunday morning.
Yeah, Sunday morning is when that was. And did you guys meet or see anybody else? Or Matt, did you get any photos done at all or anything?
Yeah, actually my buddy Mo, he went and got the professional photos done in the, I guess it was the cosplay park.
Okay.
And they had that studio set up. Yeah. Okay. Mojo, he's my barber. He's a good friend of mine.
Cool.
And
nice.
Yeah, he I saw all of his photos from there. Those were fantastic. It was really hard to try. That's a big thing with MegaCon is it's hard to organize people sometimes because of how busy that floor can be.
Yeah.
And sometimes people be on the north side. Like we had our Spider-Verse meetup.
Yeah.
And
on Sunday,
I know a lot of people got confused because they thought they were supposed to be in the North Concourse and we were in the South.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people met up at the North Concourse because there was the Into the Spider-Verse panel at 2:30, and then we had our just photo meetup at 2. So it was very weird. Just everything. There's so much going on, especially when you look at the actual scheduling on the app. There's things going on every like half hour, and then not to mention you have all the Facebook private events or things that individuals are trying to plan or things like that. Like it's like you can have the Moshi after party and then like 3 other after parties that are all on the scheduling app, and then you have Facebook event by someone who's like, hey guys, I worked out a deal with this karaoke bar for a cosplay karaoke night. It's $10 to come in, whatever, blah blah blah. And more often than not, unless you have enough people share it and you get it out early enough that people see it before the scheduling is done, almost no one's gonna go. Because it gets buried underneath all of the like official after parties and things like that. So it is really hard to kind of do those individual schedules and things like that. It's possible, but you really just got to be on top of it. It's one of the tougher things. But yeah, I definitely agree with that though. But yeah. And then Brian, did you do anything?
I think I had 35 members from my Events with Friends group that I couldn't even get them all organized.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what about you, Brian? Other than your photo shoot, did you meet or see anybody or do anything?
I tried to meet up with as many people as I could, like you, and then there was one or two other people I had met before at Tampa Bay Comic Con or Central Florida Comic Con or something. But it was just mostly just trying to meet as many of the people who I've been chatting with on Instagram now for a few months, and was able to do that. Like Mo was one of them. I just happened by chance to be crossing paths with Foggy Knight, if you know who he is. And then a number of other people. And there were several people who I really wanted to try to meet up with, who I just couldn't find. Like we just were like, we'll try to find you. Like for example, there's one person who's going to dress up as his, he's going to be Captain Deadpool or something. Okay. So I was looking for him because that would have been fun. But yeah, other than I feel like that's walking around.
Yeah, I honestly feel like that's one of the most fun things too, though, is because you can like right after MegaCon or after a convention, when you meet another cosplayer or something like that, you can always you're always hitting each other up. It's like, hey, we should do this collab or do this or do that or whatever at the next convention that we find. And it's always the moment you get there, it's like you could have not seen this person for a year and all you've done is talk to them and you haven't known them outside of Instagram for longer than an hour. But it's crazy because it's like the moment you finally meet them in person again, you're like, fuck yeah. It's like, and it's like you just met a long lost friend. And that's one of the things I love about cosplay. Like hell, I got in touch with Manny through either TikTok or Instagram or something because another friend of mine, Lewis, messaged me like, hey, Manny's doing this Spider-Verse event IRL poster thing for Into the Spider-Verse. It's gonna be a big edit and everything. So I sent him my photo and I started talking to him that way. And I never actually met him in person before Central Florida Comic Con. And then, we met him and like right out the gate, now I'm talking to him almost like every other day. And it's like, we're just like best buds. But no, I have an absolute blast whenever that happens, just because it's a really good way to network. Like conventions, if you guys have never been to a convention and you have been cosplaying for a long time and you've just never been, or you want to start cosplaying but you don't know where to start, go to a convention, because that is the best place to network, to get advice, to get tips, to meet other cosplayers who can give you advice. And not to mention too is when you do cosplay at a convention, everyone is so relaxed that even if you feel like you did an absolutely terrible job at your cosplay, you will have so many people give you so many compliments just because of the actual effort that you put in. Like my Red Hood project, I shuffled that out in 2 weeks. I did that in 2 weeks. I paid no mind. I bought a $40 leather jacket, cut a red hoodie, glued the hood on there, printed the helmet, whatever, painted the belt, whatever, all in 2 weeks. When I went into MegaCon, I was like, honestly, I could have done so much more with this. It looks like absolute shit. And I wore it Saturday, and I got a comment from someone who was just standing. I was just walking by, and he literally just started clapping his hands, and he's like, dude, I've been waiting to see an actual Red Hood all weekend. All I've been seeing is Arkham Knight or Injustice or all these this is the pinnacle. This is Red Hood right here. And because I just did the under the Red Hood, just a basic leather jacket, all black, minimal armor, no bat logo, nothing like that. AK-47, 2 pistols, and his knife. So it's like I was weaponed up, I was arsenaled up, I had everything that Red Hood needed, but it was definitely more under the Red Hood leaning, but I did have elements from other things that I pulled from. So his Rebirth helmet, obviously I did still have a Dark Knight styled Red Hood belt, which actually kind of inspires me to maybe do a what if style Red Hood, where what if he was in the Dark Knight Christian Bale universe kind of thing. So I might do that. That might be something I end up doing and working on. I plan on having 4 different Red Hoods. So, but no, it made me feel really good. And it made me just kind of look at it in a whole nother way, where I was kind of I've been dogging on this the entire time. I've been making it and wearing it and everything. And that comment 180'd me. And I was like, the fact that someone literally stopped what they were doing, walking, saw me, literally clapped. This dude literally was literally clapped. And so it made me feel great about the effort that I put in, especially to the helmet with the LEDs and the paint and everything. And that was another thing too, is because it's kind of hard to see through the eyes with the LEDs on. And so I really only had the LEDs on for pictures, which always blew people's minds, because I think I was one of the few that actually had LEDs in the Red Hood helmets of the Red Hoods there. And so that really blew a lot of people away, because they would be like, hey, can we take a photo? I'd click them on. They're like, oh shit, you have LEDs. That's dope. So
well, it's next level, and people like that effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it made me feel really good though too. It's like, and I even have, I even have the guns in the holsters right now, which you can't really see them, but it's whatever. But I actually plan on reprinting the guns, and I'm actually going to get red LEDs, and where it's kind of like the thin lines, I'm going to hollow it out, put some LEDs in it. I might not infill it as much this time, because I need to obviously try to like get everything into it to fit in the compartment. But if I can make like glowing inlay lines inside the actual pistol, I'm going to try to do that, because I feel like it would look really fucking cool in photos.
That would be.
But yeah, so it's really all about the experience that you get there. And I met a ton of new people. I met a ton of people I met before. A lot of people I know who are going to Tampa Bay, so I'll get to see them again, even if it's just for a day. I'll try to meet up with them and hang out. I know that both of you guys kind of got some stuff on your plate probably for this year and everything. Are you guys going to be trying to go to Tampa Bay?
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
I've already got my hotel booked, and I got my ticket.
It's I live in Tampa, so it's.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so you got to be there. You got to be there. You can't. Yeah, no excuse. Yeah, I have my hotel room. Reserved. I'm actually gonna start doing the smart thing, because I live in Winter Haven, so I live right dead center between Orlando and Tampa, and so it's like an hour drive to and from for me both ways. And so I'm actually not a big fan of traffic. And in order to beat traffic, actually, what I've kind of conjured up in my mind is I'm going to start arriving a day early and leaving a day late. So like for MegaCon next year, I'm going to save up, and I'm going to be there from Wednesday to Monday. And then obviously for Tampa Bay, I haven't changed my reservation yet. It's still just Sunday, Thursday through Sunday. I might change it to Thursday through Monday. I'm not too sure just yet. Obviously, the closer I get, the more that night price is going to end up getting jacked up. I think it was like $350 or something like that to add an extra night 5 days ago, and the reservation I have now, it was only like I think $900. So it jumps up if you're not ready for it. But if I need to pay the extra money to avoid traffic and go and be able to get home in an hour instead of an hour and a half, I'll take it. But plus it's so much easier to relax, because you can enjoy more of the amenities. Check in Wednesday, go swimming, go exercise, something, relax, be there already in the morning for Thursday. So that's how I kind of.
James, as it gets closer, if you haven't figured out your hotel, maybe you can couch surf.
Yeah. Well, no, I already have the room booked. The room is already booked.
Okay,
I just have it. Yeah. I've already reserved my room.
Have
and
to
everything.
add a day.
So it's. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to add an extra night to stay Monday and check out Monday morning.
That's what I'm talking about. Maybe you can couch surf on Sunday night. Just to avoid traffic or something. Let me know if we need to figure something out.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks in advance. If that's the case. But yeah, no, I've already got my ticket and everything, so it's already set and done. I actually didn't even know it today. There was actually a brand new con that popped up in Mulberry. Called Prehistoricon. So it was their first convention, but it was outdoors, a lot of reptiles, steampunk thing. I didn't go because I wasn't sure about work, and then work called me when I was like 30 minutes from being late, and they were like, hey, do you want an approved day off work? And I was like, I don't have to go to work, and I'm already late, so I won't get in trouble for it? Absolutely. Yes. So I didn't get deducted points because of that amount of luck. So thank you. I didn't go to the con today, though. I didn't go to the con, though, just because it was in Mulberry. It was like still half hour, 45 minutes away, and I wasn't really feeling it. It was outdoors, and all I got is leather and spandex, so I'm not doing that. not for a whole day. But so anyway, because obviously we're getting to the point now, we're getting to that 30-minute mark. I kind of want to talk about a PopCon really quick. So a PopCon, Matt, you said you're the producer of it. It's May 6th, if I believe. It's in 2 weeks. Talk about it. What's it about?
Yeah, so a PopCon, I'm one of the producers. I was brought on around the time of MegaCon because they needed some extra help. There was only my co-producer, Heather, that was working on it, along with the guy that's funding it, my buddy John, and what their goal is to bring conventions to underserved areas, because Orlando, Tampa, Lakeland, all those places, they're bigger areas, and they have established cons. Exactly. But places like Apopka, there's not a lot that goes on there, and other areas around the state that are smaller, that a lot of their cons just don't pop. And so they wanted to do this, and it goes to benefit Give Kids the World. So, we have part of our proceeds that are going to go into Give Kids the World. We have them going to sponsor. My co-producer, Heather, she just did the Over the Edge experience with Give Kids the World at the Hyatt Regency in Orlando. She rappelled 432 feet down the side of the building there. And all the money that she raised, all the money that all of the people that did it raised, went straight to Give Kids the World, which is such a wonderful organization that helps children to experience the children that have diseases and things like that, they get to experience this really awesome vacation, completely stress-free to them and their parents, just to enjoy a time. It's a whole village, and it's just such a wonderful thing. And so we teamed up with them. We really want to be able to bring this to the community, and they were so gung-ho to help us. And PopCon itself is going to be a hybrid outdoor-indoor convention. It's going to be at Camp Weewa in Apopka, and it goes from 9 till 6 is the main event, and then from 6 to 10 is the after hours, which we call S'mores of PopCon. Everybody gets 2 free s'mores, and any extra that we sell, all the proceeds go straight to Give Kids the World. So we are really looking forward to it. We've got a really good feedback on what we're doing, and I'm super stoked about it. I think it's a wonderful thing for a first-year con. We've got quite a number of people coming. There's still plenty of tickets available, but we've got a pretty good showing coming up. We've got celebrities like Nick Gomez, who was in She-Hulk. He's going to be premiering in the season 5 of Fargo. He was in The Walking Dead. Tom Geary from The Sandlot. You're killing me, Smalls. He's one of our big guys that's going to be coming out. We've got 11 celebrity guests, and it's going to be such a wonderful time. I'm really looking forward to it. On Friday night is our VIP experience that we're doing. We rented out a movie theater. We are going to premiere. Give me a second. We're going to premiere Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for all of our VIP members in a private theater. And we're actually looking for more cosplayers to come out to the theater. Wanted us to bring some cosplayers that want to do some Guardians characters, and so anybody that wants to volunteer to dress up as a Guardians character, come on out and come check out the movie and come have a good time with us. But it's going to be a really good time. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, yeah, no, and I haven't changed. Obviously, for anyone that follows me, I always post my the next con I'm going to be to, in my bio. It is still Tampa Bay, because I haven't gotten my ticket for a PopCon yet. I plan on trying to get it. I'm probably going to aim to try to get the VIP next Friday when I get paid, maybe sooner. If I get my check for my second job before then, I'll try to get it. Just really depends, but I do plan on getting that because the tickets are actually very fairly priced. It's $10 for general admission for just Saturday, and then it's $60 for the VIP. If I remember correctly, and then that has that Friday night and then Saturday.
Yeah, so it's $65 for the VIP. You get to, we're on Friday, we'll be doing a meet and greet with the celebrities at the theater. So all of our VIP members get to meet the celebrities. And then I think it's around 8 o'clock ish, we'll be going into the movie theater and actually getting to sit down with everybody and watching the movie. General admission are normally $20. We're doing a sale right now for the $10 tickets, and it'll be $25 at the door. So it's best to get your tickets online now, especially this weekend for $10. That's a steal to get in for such a great event and to help
such a great
some really awesome people.
Yeah,
exactly. And so most definitely, if anybody wants to, they can reach out to me and I can point them in the right direction. If either of you guys want to cosplay on Friday for us, I
don't have any Guardians
likewise.
cosplays, but I absolutely will be more than happy to do Spider-Man since it is
Cap can
movie.
show up.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking about doing my my Tony Stark. So
nice.
So it's definitely going to be a fun thing, and I mean, not a lot of people are going to be in a private theater watching the premiere of the movie the night that it comes out. So,
and it's because it's too though is I'm definitely super excited to obviously support that cause. It's a great cause. I can't give too much information. I don't know too much about it. Obviously, I'll have to do my research on it. I don't like talking about things that I don't have too much of a clue on. But just the way you described it, the way you kind of perceived it, obviously, this sounds like it's going to be for a great cause. Obviously, people who have kids that have diseases and have disabilities and things like that, that is a tough life to live, not just for the child, but for the parents as well. And so to be able to take the child and relax and not stress about bills and paying for a vacation and things like that, obviously it must mean a lot to them just to be able to at least have, at the very least, a couple days of no stress, having to worry, and just making sure that their kids can have a great time. And that's honestly one of the best things out there.
Enjoying family time together. It's so important. And I mean, a lot of cosplay, that's what I have is I've developed this Events with Friends group, and all of them have become like family. I mean, you know, James, you saw us, and you got to hang out with us when we were doing our Teen Titans at MegaCon. And you can see just how much everybody cares about each other, and that's what the cosplay community is. It's
what it should be.
It's a bunch of people that feel like outsiders sometimes, and they all can come together in one harmonious group, and people support you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I say this on every podcast, like obviously every community has their toxic people, cosplay especially. You have some people that try to gatekeep. You have some people that try to say, if you're not building your own cosplay, it's not actually cosplay. They have some people that say if you spend less than $2,000 in 2 years doing this one cosplay to make it picture perfect, it's not a cosplay. And that's not what cosplay is about. It's just about expressing and showing the love for a character that you hold in your heart. Like, one of the reasons I cosplay Spider-Man is because that was the hero I grew up with. And there's a lot of things I share both morally and literally to him. He lost his uncle before he got his powers, before he was truly an adult. I lost my grandfather before I even finished my first year of high school. Hell, before I finished high school, I was his first grandson to even graduate high school. So there's a lot of things about Spider-Man that I take into personal reflection and kind of think on. The only thing I wish that I had was his charisma, because he's had more girlfriends than me, which makes me feel a little upset. But because
he's a little awkward with them, though. So. Yeah.
True. Yes, but he still had him, did he not? But and then obviously Red Hood as well. I share a lot of similarities with Red Hood. I'm very rebellious. I can tend to be aggressive in nature. I anger quickly. Again, a gift given to me by my grandfather, very quick to anger. But both of those characters I hold such a passion for in my heart, just because of the fact that I share so many similarities with them. Obviously, my big passion project, the character I would really love to cosplay, the one I plan on spending the most time in, is definitely Lord Starkiller, especially with all of his fancy, clothing and everything with the Vader undersuit and stuff like that. I plan on doing all of that eventually. I want to try and get it started. I don't think I'll get it done by next MegaCon, but I want to at least try. But yeah, like there's so many things about cosplay that can just bring people together, and it's so stupid to waste time sitting there trying to nitpick someone's cosplay to tell them what's wrong or what they did right. It's just about the love that we have for those characters and being able to come together to share that expressed love. And that's one of the things that I feel like a lot of people are kind of scared about, is that, it's like you might look a certain way or feel a certain way or anything like that. And you kind of look at these characters and you're like, man, I wish I could do that. Do it. There's plenty of us that do. There's nothing that says that you have to be, 6'1", 180 pounds of pure lean muscle to be able to cosplay Spider-Man. I'm 5'7", I weigh 155, and I'm just an average build. I'm working on it. I would like to be more of a lean build, but that's not for cosplay. That's just for my own standards. My lifestyle and the way I want to look doesn't really dictate how I want to cosplay. The only thing like cosplay related that would really dictate how I want to look is for Holiday Matsuri going as Hawk. I want to try to go as Hawk from season 3 with the red mohawk, with just the pants as the gi, shirtless, have the tattoos and everything. And so I want my physique to be as on point as possible because he's very athletic. He's very stone cold in his nature in season 3. If you guys have watched Cobra Kai and you've seen season 3 when he beats down that one bigger bully, just absolutely ruthlessly, like I plan on doing the full thing, like fake blood on the knuckles, all that stuff. So I plan on kind of doing that. That's the only real cosplay that I have that I kind of feel like I need to like tone down and lean down for. And again, I know that's not necessary, but just the fact that it's a goal and a motivational mindset that I can kind of strive myself towards as the months kind of go by, and I can get progressively more into it. That's really the only thing pushing me to really make sure I stay on top of it. But
and being healthy is a thing for yourself. So
yeah. And honestly, the thing is too, is I'm not here to try to push anyone to, work out or eat right or do whatever. If you want to go out, eat pizza 5 days a week, do it. Hell, I've done it. But it's like, for me, the thing is I've noticed that with myself, if I'm feeling angry or I feel bad about myself or something like that, it honestly blows my mind the amount of wonders that gets worked when I exercise, because immediately all that stuff just kind of melts away, and I just focus on me, and it definitely fortifies kind of your attitude and your mentality a lot better, and it helps you to become more, in my opinion, it has made me more emotionally available when I work out. I've never really worked out in an actual gym until I moved here. And until I moved down to Florida 2 years ago, and I was closed off. I stayed in my room all day. I just ate snacks and played video games. And it was honestly very unhealthy, because I would come home from work and I would literally tear through a party-sized bag of Doritos and a 2-liter of Sprite, and like 2 weeks of doing nothing but that as my main like sustenance for food. I ended up getting a kidney stone that was just under the size they needed to actually go and get it. So it was just it was just at that point where I wouldn't have been able to pass it. And it was so painful. I actually had to get gurneyed and ER'd, like ambulanced to the ER, because they thought like it was so bad. Like I was in like basically such a state of paralysis from pain. They actually thought my appendix had burst. It was that bad. So obviously that was a really big wake up call for me. And ever since then, I've been kind of gradually exercising. But then when I first went to the gym, and in like 3 months, I saw the progress that I did, it did a lot for me positively. So it's like, if you ever feel bad about yourself, or you just are upset or something, or you just want to kill time, just knock out 10 jumping jacks. Like, honestly, just do something to get your heart rate up and get moving. And that's all you need. But
just moving. Exactly.
Just move, just live. Like if it's something that you can do it. Like it's as easy as that. But kind of going back to
there's plenty of 15-minute workouts online.
Oh yeah, absolutely, tons for free that you can do.
Right.
But but going back to
sorry, James, really quick. I want to add one thing back to what you're saying about cosplaying, or like maybe being afraid to cosplay people nitpicking is. And this is a conversation I've been having with someone who I've never met, but on Instagram, he's asking me all about what if I did this for Captain America, or what if I did that for Captain America? And what I've come to realize is one of the most important things is it is 100% okay for each person to have their own interpretation of a character.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be comic book accurate. It doesn't have to be movie accurate, right? Like
no.
if your interpretation of a character is a certain way, go for it. Like rock it.
Like a great example is back to my Red Hood. Again, the bat on the belt is more the Dark Knight style. The helmet is Rebirth. The knife that I have printed off, that's from Injustice 2. It's his knife in Injustice 2. The jacket, you could technically, like, if you really wanted to try to link that back to any form of media he was in, you could throw that back into Under the Red Hood. The cargo pants, the boots, the both Under the Red Hood, the holsters, literally anything other than Under the Red Hood, because in Under the Red Hood, he doesn't have gun holsters. He mostly carries them in like back holsters or something, or in the back of his pants, I think. I'm not sure. But, and then obviously like just another thing is just the guns in general. The guns in general are Maxim 9s, which I don't even think exist in any form of digital media. He doesn't have them in games or movies or anything like that. They appear in the comics, I think. So it's like you can take different pieces of the character from different sections of media, video games, things like that. Like I plan on doing an actual Arkham Knight Red Hood, or even an Arkham Knight, like a literal Arkham Knight, and I have the gun files for him. I have pistol files out the gate. I have 3 other helmets. I have the Titans Season 3 Red Hood that I plan on doing. There's tons of different interpretations and things you can take to kind of make your own character while still leaving it with the same thing. Like there's not any set of limitations on the character that you can or can't do. And that's what I think that a lot of people
it's a multiverse.
It makes people nervous whenever they think that it has to be a specific way, and they don't. And that's one of the great things about cosplay. You can, as long as you can show the love and the time you invested in that character through whatever cosplay that is, like hell, I've seen people bring in like crocodile puppets or something like that with a Loki thing, and that's their cosplay, is just the Loki handler or something like that. Like there's tons of different ways to go about it that you can do.
You're only limited by your imagination.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
And then kind of going back to a PopCon, we talked about your side from it as the producer, Matt. Like Brian, is this your first time being a cosplay guest? Have you been a guest before? Or?
It's my first time being a guest, yes. So
right.
I feel a little bit like Tweak, and there's oh my gosh, so much pressure.
Yeah, right. No, I actually I don't know if either of you happen to know the Real Ghost on Instagram. He strictly does Simon Ghost Riley from Call of Duty on his cosplays and everything. But today he's a really good friend of mine. But he actually just did his first cosplay as a cosplay guest today, and I viewed in for his live a little bit, and he did a great job. And he was kind of going through the same things you were going through, Brian, like kind of like nervous, getting a little bit of the shakes and stuff like that. You'll be fine. I'm probably going to be the same way if I ever get the honor of being invited as a cosplay guest. But yeah, no, it's what's kind of like some things that entered your mind when you were asked to do that? Like what kind of like happened when you were thinking about if you do it or not?
I was like, really?
Let me interject real quick, because I do got to run. So I appreciate it. Looking forward. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at a PopCon.
Sure.
Definitely hope to be back again as a guest. What's that?
If you want really quick, drop your socials for you head out. So. Yeah,
Phony Stark cosplay on Instagram. Phony_Stark cosplay. That's me. And Events with Friends Orlando on Facebook is my group. Come check us out. We do all sorts of different stuff outside of cons. We're running cons. We've got a lot of big things coming up. And come on out to PopCon. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody out there.
All right, man. Awesome. Hey, I know you got some places to be. I got some desserts to eat. So go have fun, man. I'll talk to you later. And have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right.
I just realized that I met him at MegaCon.
Yeah.
I was like, why? Even with the sunglasses, I'm like, why does his face look familiar? I've met him before.
Right. That's the thing. So for any of you guys that didn't catch it, IG title Phony_Stark cosplay. Guys, check him out. Check out some of his stuff. like he said, he's a producer for PopCon. And then kind of going back on a PopCon is so Brian, you were saying though, is what were some of the thoughts and kind of like how'd you process going through your mind, like I'm being asked to be a guest at a convention?
Yeah, I was this was actually at Central Florida Comic Con. It was, I think, early in the morning on this was day 2 because I did my Spidey on the day 1 and I did Cap on day 2. But I was like, really, you want me? Like, I'm a nobody. I only have
right.
Maybe 200 followers on Instagram, and
you have I think around like 100 more than me. I think like you're at like 537. I'm at 445.
I'm almost up to 600 now. Like the last almost 30 days, it's just it's starting to take off, and that's really all due to my I think my Captain Bucky cosplay with the arm. But no, yeah, I was like, really, like, okay, sure, like I'm happy to do it, but like you realize I'm a nobody. Like, I mean, that's like the first thought that goes into your head. But I mean, sort of to tie that into maybe to people watching who haven't cosplayed before, who are still nervous about cosplaying, is okay, I'm just going to go as the character that I want to go as.
Right.
And I'm just going to get into it. I'm going to have a great time. I mean, and that's what I do. Like when I go to a con, I'm dressed up as my character, and I try to stay in character, whether I'm walking to the con, at the con, walking from the con.
Yeah.
Like there was just a really quick aside. There was one moment on Sunday afternoon. I was way over on the far side of, I think, the South Concourse, down in a stairwell, over in a corner where there was nobody else except the guy who was doing my afternoon photo shoot with one of his clients.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I can mentally take a break from cosplaying, for 5 minutes.
Right.
Nope. Some guy walks by and he's like, how long do you plan on doing this for? And I was like, and like, because I had mentally taken a break, I had no idea what he was asking about. So I had this blank stare, and he said, it's all right. I was hoping you could say I could do this all day. I was like, oh crap. Yeah. Like, right. So,
right. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's like, okay, so I'm going to be a guest cosplayer. I'm going to have a great time. PopCon, like you've talked about, like, Mark Phony Stark.
Yeah.
What is
Matt.
Okay. Yeah. Like what he was saying, you two were talking about, it's a great cause. And like happy to support it. All I knew about it at the time was that it's something that was supporting mental health issues or focusing on that, which I think is great to focus on. And that's one thing cosplay is great for, is not like retreating into yourself, but being able to express yourself and like interact with people and make new friends and all that. And like everyone at some point in their life had some kind of mental health issue.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to support it. Like I've gotten excited, more and more excited as it's gotten closer. Like when I finally posted about it on my on my Instagram, my oldest brother, he's like, "Oh, so you're famous now?" It's like, maybe,
not yet.
I don't know.
But
yeah,
yeah,
so.
No, and I honestly meant, like, Central Florida being the first place I met you, and like kind of through Manny is kind of how we met. I wish nothing but great things for you, and I'll drop by and see how everything's going for you when I do go, if I can go. I'm gonna try to go, like I was saying before. But no, I honestly, dude, it honestly warms my heart, just like you and then my buddy Real Ghost, like both you guys kind of getting the recognition you guys deserve, and being asked to be guests at conventions, things like that. It definitely means a lot to me that I can call you guys my friends and give you like any emotional support or anything like that I can. Because obviously, like your success is one of the main things that should be prioritized over like anything else of a physical factor. If right. I can try to word that in the right way, but like obviously, with success comes needed support. Like you got to be able to kind of like know people that can stay in your corner, and that aren't going to leave, is kind of the way I was trying to word that.
Got it.
But
yep. Great success comes great responsibility, to paraphrase it.
Yeah, there you go, right? That's yeah. But no, that's super excited for you, man. Yeah, and it's kind of like what you were saying is with cosplaying, you have to stay in character. That is one thing that makes me nervous about doing certain cosplays. Spider-Man is super easy to cosplay because he's always friendly, he's always nice, always in a good mood. I was so scared to do Red Hood because of the fact that I knew that I'd have to bring the attitude with me, but like I didn't want to come off as a dick. So it was really hard. It was really hard to cosplay Red Hood at MegaCon, which I didn't carry the attitude with me. I had it more in my walk. I was very straight backed, very serious, very kind of tone deaf. I didn't really have too much emotion. If someone asked for a photo, I'd be like, yeah, all right. But like, I didn't want to be that guy that's like, yeah, sure, I guess, whatever, hurry up and get the picture. Because the thing is especially if it's your first convention and you don't really know that when someone's cosplaying, they're supposed to really act like the character and bring out that character's essence. You just have like, all you're going to know is a guy was just like, just hurry up and take the damn picture. And like, all you're going to think is this guy's kind of a dick. And it's like, that's the point. I'm not a dick. Red Hood's a dick. But yeah, so that's one of the things that makes
there can be a fine line.
Yeah, there's a fine line. Yeah. But so it's like you got to know how to walk it. Which a lot of again, like a lot of the attitude I carried was my walk. Like at the end of Saturday when I was done doing Red Hood, my back was so stiff because I've never walked with such a straight back. Because it's like I was
using deadlifts.
Oh, dude, well, yeah, right.
Legs, but no, you have to have good form for deadlifts in your back too. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was brutal, man, because it was like I was up straight, good posture the whole time. I was super like serious in how I approached people and things like that. But obviously when I took the helmet off, I got to kind of be me and be like, like I tried to carry the helmet off with me when I wasn't. So that way when people ask for photos, I'd be like, yeah, sure. And then I could just throw it on because it's, with the helmet on, I have to be in the Red Hood mentality. And I don't want to do that around a kid that wants to get a photo taken with Red Hood because he likes the character or something like that. And I'm like, does your brat have the photo he wants yet? It's like, that's something Red Hood would say. And and so that's kind of the thing is you have to be careful with how you approach it.
Yeah, you got to read the person in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, you really have to read it and everything. And that's one of the things I love about being Spider-Man, though, is that I could just be like, yeah, dude, what's up? And then you fist bump or whatever. And that's one of my favorite things to do, especially whenever I meet like a younger kid or whatever, and they wave hi, they want to get a picture or anything like that. If I'm cosplaying Spider-Man, I'll do like a fist bump. And then when they fist bump me, I'm like, ah, man, like that's a good one or whatever. Like, and it's a lot more fun because I get to be more, like out there and be like, hey, yeah, good job, like things like that. So that's kind of the thing that I feel like a lot of people don't really understand about cosplay is that, and a great a friend of mine who is a part of the Kitchen Killers, which I don't know if you know that band or not. Check them out; they're really good.
By name,
yeah, but no, but he was telling me, it's like a lot of people don't know the difference between cosplaying and costuming. When you're costuming, you're just wearing what the character wears to kind of express the love. When you're cosplaying, you're acting. You're actually supposed to be that character. And so that's the thing is that whenever you cosplay a villain, you have to act like a villain. So it's like you have people that cosplay Joker that really go for it and they cosplay Joker. And it's kind of intimidating. It's kind of scary when they really put their all into it. But then at the end of the day, when you meet them and they're not cosplaying anymore, they're just getting ready to kind of get everything done. And they've gone from cosplaying to costuming, you kind of see who that person is and you're like, oh, this is a really cool dude. He was just scary as shit because he was being Joker. So
yeah,
but that's one of the great things I love though, is because you can meet so many great people and there's so many layers to people because of the fact that they're trying to actually portray the specific character that they are without being too crazy about it.
Yeah.
You can always, it's always great though too, because you can always like talk to someone that's in a cosplay and then you can just talk to them when they're out of it. And it's like meeting the person a whole nother time.
Right. But and the creativity that people have.
Oh,
too.
Absolutely.
Like, and I know at the beginning, if anyone's like watched this whole podcast, thank you for number one for doing that. But like towards the beginning, we talked about like tips for MegaCon, and we said like don't go Saturday or don't go during the peak hours. Is like definitely take some time like to walk the floors, because that's where you get to see
Thursday,
all the creativity of people.
Thursday and Friday is honestly the 2 best days in my opinion to go if you want to walk the floor, because Thursday you get a great ability to kind of view the layout. And then Friday, you can actually buy things. Like Thursday, they say Thursday is just kind of the show floor. It's just there to walk around and see stuff as it gets set up, and not everything's done yet. And then Friday is when the magic happens and you can go and buy stuff. That's honestly the best. Friday and Sunday are the 2 best times to buy anything if you want to buy anything. If you are there for photo shoots, you're there for cosplaying, you're there for events, avoid the stage floor at all costs on Saturday, because it will get packed.
Yeah. What I was going to say though was that probably my favorite cosplay of MegaCon was I think this was a teenage girl. It was hard to tell, but only cardboard. This person made from Star Wars. I think it's called an.
Is the STST? Oh, the AT-AT. Yeah.
I think it's an actually, and just like the way that she had it set up and it moved, it looked like a real AT-AT or whatever it's called. And I was like, it's cardboard. Whoever did this probably spent what, $2, maybe, and it was so amazing. That was probably my favorite.
I actually know exactly who did it, because I saw their page on Instagram before the event and I saw what they were working on. And it's actually, I have his Instagram right here. I can pull it up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I just realized that the sunlight was coming in.
No, you're good.
I'm like, people can't see my face anymore. So
here it is. Yeah, it's so that was actually Victor's Pictures. So it's Victor's _pictures is who did that ST or the AT. I don't know why I keep wanting to say ST, but he actually makes some great stuff. But no, this was him right here. So for anybody that's
okay, cool.
Yeah, so that was him. But some of the stuff that he's done, let me see if I can't find like a photo of like one of the cosplay. Here he has this pinned here, and it's still a video. I'm trying to find a photo.
Sorry, I'm just
here we go. But yeah, like he did this himself. Like this guy does some amazing work.
Awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, he does amazing work. And I've actually kind of talked to him. He's getting back into photography, and I was going to actually see if he could do a photo shoot for me. I'm just kind of getting some price ranges and stuff. But I've met a lot of really cool people there. I didn't actually meet him in person, but I did see it, and so I messaged him after the event was over. I was like, dude, I saw your AT-AT. Great work on it. Looks really cool. Another person I met a few different cosplayers. Obviously, I met Snarky J. I met Mark Knight Rises. Mark Knight Rises was actually had a co-guest with him on Saturday, who I actually know. And so I went to hang out with her for a little bit and just kind of talk to her for a little bit. And then I ended up talking to Mark, and he actually gave me like a lot of really good compliments and praise for both my Superior suit and my Red Hood.
Mark's just
so
a really
I actually,
nice guy.
Oh yeah, he's really cool.
Maybe that's another thing, like for meeting people, and by this I mean more like the official guests or even celebrities like to have your picture taken, which I've heard trying to have a picture taken at MegaCon takes hours with all the line standing you do, which made me glad I chose not to try to do any of that this time. But is the cosplay guests is don't feel shy at all to go up and say hello.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
Everyone I have ever met is just they're so nice. They're so happy that you're there to be there. They're so happy to say hello and get into whatever character they're portraying that day.
I was super excited. I got to meet Snarky J. I met Hanari Solomon and Mark Knight Rises, which is so funny because I was doing my symbiote suit on Friday, and I saw Snarky J was doing a Venom, and so I went to see her, and I told her about switching into Red Hood in later day, and she told me, she's like, come back because I love Red Hood. And I was literally on my way back, and Hanari was Damian Wayne that same day, And as I'm walking by her to get to Snarky to be like, hey, it's like me again. She was like, Redhead, come here, family photo. And it was like a bunch of other like Bat family cosplayers that she had gathered around. And I thought that was hilarious because I just got pulled from her to get a photo. And I didn't even really know what was happening. So that was a lot of fun. But no, Mark is a really cool guy. Super glad I got to meet him. And he actually followed me back and he's like, dude, if I ever need like a Red Hood for a photo shoot, I'll let you know. And I was like, please do. That would be awesome. I would be completely honored.
Yeah, you were rocking it that day.
Yeah, but no, I had a great time. The only thing I'm upset, or not really upset, but the only thing I'm kind of bummed out about is I was really only in my superior suit for an hour on Saturday night. I wore it at the after party. But man, I was so proud of that superior suit after repainting it. And I wore it for like an hour. So I'll definitely be wearing it to a PopCon.
Cool.
I'll probably do it both Friday night and Saturday, all day Saturday. Just because it's Friday night, it's like 2-3 hours max that we'd be at the theater or whatever. So I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, no. And then but for Tampa Bay, I'm actually gonna do superior suit. I plan on doing Red Hood again. With a couple bells and whistles added. I plan on putting some actual like pouches on his belt so I can store stuff. I'm gonna do I might do Scarlet Spider. I need to do some work on the actual suit beforehand. And then I also want to try and get Dakin done. Dakin Dark Wolverine from Dark Avengers finished up. And if I can get my 3D printer back and I can get a hold of a suit that I need and do some stitch work and things like that on it, I should be able to do it. I'm going to try. If it's a rushed project, it's a rushed project. If it looks like crap, it looks like crap. It'll be a work in progress as far as I'm concerned.
Things that people think look like crap, like you were talking about with your Red Hood, you're like, whatever. It's going to be whatever. They end up turning out to be so amazing.
Yeah. So. And that's the one thing that is really going to be difficult is I plan on doing his mohawk, which he doesn't really have, like a mohawk. He just has like the mohawk strip and he kind of leaves his hair down. So it won't be hard, but I'll just have to grow that out, which is going to be a bitch. But I need to do it anyway. But
at your age, you can get away with it. At my age, which I've lived 2 lifetimes, so I'm about 200 years old now. But
but yeah, the only thing I think that is the only thing that's gonna be the hardest part to do the Dakin is I'm gonna need to find someone that can do his tribal sleeve, because he has kind of like a tribal tattoo, so it's like swirls and everything all down his arm. So I need to try to find someone that can do that, but I don't really know what the whole stencil looks like because obviously, comics, it's 2D, you don't see the whole arm. So I'd have to try to look it up to see if I could find it. If I have to go without it, I will. I won't be as happy about it because obviously I want to try to do
put
the
your
whole
own
thing.
interpretation into it, man.
Yeah, but no, I'm super excited though to get Dakin done. He is an absolute badass Wolverine, and I love his claws too, because his claws are totally different from everyone else's. Is like because he's similar to Weapon 23 with the claws that protrude out here, but then his third one actually comes out from under his wrist, which I'm super stoked to be able to do. Because not a lot of people know who he is, and I've told like somewhere between the range of 10 to 15 people that I'm doing it, and like 2 people, when I told them I was doing that Wolverine, they were like, "Fuck yeah!" because they know who he is, and he's never cosplayed as. No one ever cosplays him, so I'm super stoked to try to do it. And if I could actually do that and get that version done, I would love to try and get a hold of Mark and see if I could do like a Logan Dakin like father-son Wolverine photo shoot. I feel like that'd be really, really fun.
Cool. Yeah.
So I would have to obviously message him and see if he would be interested in trying to do something like that.
Yeah.
But with a PopCon, again, kind of going back on that being your first guest experience, are you going to be doing any panels? Are you going to be doing anything like that? I know you're going to have a booth probably, I'd assume, right?
I have no idea, actually.
Oh, you have no idea. They haven't told you anything.
They haven't told me anything. I've been like,
hey, Do you want to do this? Show up here and there.
Yeah, I have learned over the course of my life to become a more patient person, and so I'm like, you know what, like, one, it's a first year con, and I've already said, hey, you need help with anything, let me, like, whatever, but it's like I don't want to put like extra pressure on them or any extra things, like, and I also sort of feel like if I ask, like, am I getting a booth, it's like, well, nobody's getting a booth, like, and then is it like, you know, are they going to look at it as like, oh, he has an ego and he wants to, like, it's like, I just.
Yeah.
But actually, probably 2 weeks out now, it's probably worth just saying, hey, I just want to know what to expect when I show up. Like,
like, where do I need to go?
Et cetera. Yeah.
Is there anything I need to bring? Things like that. Yeah. No, if it's 2 weeks out, you know, I mean, go for it. Just message them and be like, hey, just want to like update really quick. This is my first time being a guest. How does the process work? You know, where do you want me? When do you want me there? Is there anything I need to bring? Things like that. Like, I think just kind of general questions like that, you should be fine.
Yeah, that's another thing. So one cosplayer that I met at MegaCon, his name is That Talon Guy. I think the word that and then Talon, like a claw.
Yeah.
So guy, and he does all kinds of different really creative takes on characters. He does a really cool zombie cap. He does Howard the Deadpool duck costume. Anyways, he's a guest cosplayer there as well. So we've been talking back and forth, and he was just telling me like, oh yeah, I'm like, I'm printing out some photos for a PopCon. I'm like, that's a thing, is you print out photos? Like, because I know from meeting, you know, like Mark Knight Rises or whatever, he showed me his whole binder full of photos, and I was like, yeah, you know, no one's told me to bring photos. But after talking with that Talon guy, it's like, well, I did just have these photo shoots at MegaCon, so I guess I'll bring some photos and, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, that's never really a bad thing, because obviously, you know, it helps your exposure, because, you know, somebody's like, hey, can I get a photo with you? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you want a picture? Because I know that, because like I was saying, is my one buddy Ghost, he was doing he was a guest today at a convention in Georgia, and he had some photos with him that he signed, and I think he sold them for like $5 a piece.
Yeah,
for signatures, and then it was like free for photos and things like that. So
people have their own ranges. Like, I don't, I'm not there to make. Thankfully, I don't need the money. But
right.
You know, if it just covers the cost of like printing or whatever, and maybe the cost of gas, like, that'd be like, okay, great, fine. But
I mean, if it's like $30 to get there and back, which obviously Florida gas prices, it will not be. It will be more than that.
Yeah. Well,
but like, just if it was like $60 to get there and back for the day, and then like $10 to get like 50 photos printed or something like that, $70.
The other thing I have to do though is I have to double check with the photographers from my photo shoots to make sure it's okay to do that, because like I know I have free reign to put these pictures out on social media and like personal use and do whatever I want. But since I would be profiting off of their work, like, it's like, hey, I'm happy to, you know, give you a cut of it. Actually, I don't really care about the profits. And I feel like based on the results of these photo shoots, which I guess is something else to like recommend to like cosplayers, is don't be afraid to do a photo shoot, man. Like, there are some really talented.
I want to do one. I just can't ever get the money to do one.
And yeah, that is a thing. But it's like, I just, like, after seeing the results of it, I was like, wow, I really feel like I stole something here. Like the quality of what these photographers did in their edits afterwards are just so amazing. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, this is. You were only charging, you know, what was, I think, Nate _ takes, who did my outdoor photo shoot. I think it was $90 for up to nine finished edits. And I was like, that's you know, $10 a photo, basically, like you're saying. And I'm like, I would have paid probably, honestly, how good they are, maybe even as high as $50 a photo for that, because like, it's just so amazing. And so
that's the thing too, is especially at conventions, you know, if you were like cosplaying and you've never done a photo shoot, conventions are the best place to do it, because more often than not, the photographers will actually give you a deal. They actually kind of lower the prices.
And some photographers
going out to their shoot.
Yeah, and some photographers do like what's called a one shot. That's something Nate _ takes does, or with usually at every con that he goes to, is he'll do a day or maybe two of what he calls one shots, where no charge, he'll take one picture and like it's yours. Like he'll send it to you. You just need to give him your Instagram handle or email or whatever it is. But but that's how I found him as a photographer for a shoot. Is I did a one shot at St. Pete Comic-Con back in December. Just like I saw him over in a corner taking pictures, and I was like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, do you want your picture taken? I was like, sure. What's the catch? No catch. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was with my buddy Lewis. We were both at a holiday Matsuri last year, and Down in Photography was there, and for about an hour a day he did, and it was a 3-day convention, so for a total of like 3 hours, for like 5-10 minutes he'd take like 2-3 photos of you for free. And so I should lie when I say I lied when I said I never got one done. I have gotten, I did a couple that day, at that convention. I did my Superior suit, I did my Last Stand suit, and then I actually did, I got one done in my Lucifer cosplay, which my Lucifer cosplay was super basic. It's literally just a burgundy 3-piece with a crimson red tie. And then I had like the tinsel bow tie, I made, from the Christmas episode, like one of the various Christmas episodes he was in the later seasons. Like it was never, like obviously in the show, it was a black 3-piece with gold tinsel. I only had red tinsel. So everything was red.
Yep. Your own interpretation, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But no, I had an absolute blast. I didn't have the hair for it, 'cause I had gotten my hair cut and everything. So it was just Santa Claus hat, tinsel bow tie, burgundy 3-piece. So it was a lot of fun though. I had a great time at all the photo shoots. Honestly, he is such a good photographer, and he's really good about kind of like telling you like what works, like what pose would work best for this and everything. Like I did for my Superior suit. He was like, he looked at me and he literally goes, "Can you do floor work with the back piece on?" Because I did a couple standing, and he was like, "Can you do floor work with the back piece on?" And I was like, "I could try." And I got down, I was able to do it. And he goes, "Now, how low can you get to the floor?" And so it's like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, like my neck is like completely straight out, because I'm like looking down, and I'm like, I think I was like 2 inches from the floor practically. I was so low to the floor. I was in such like a down like Spider-Man type pose, and he's like, "Dude, this looks great." So it came out really good. I had him on the podcast, but we had some technical issues with the audio and everything, so I wasn't able to actually put his episode up. So I need to have him back on. But he's an absolutely great person. He's a great guy, really cool. And I think he did like it was like $100 for a private 1-hour photo shoot. And he did I think he did both outdoor and indoor, but he does some really great work. But no, that was really cool. So I definitely plan on at holiday this year, I'm going to try to see if I can't book him for a private photo shoot with maybe my Spider-Man or Hawk or something like that. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, doing photo shoots. And it's, the thing is too, is, like when you're wearing it, you never really you're like, man, I feel really cool in this cosplay and stuff like that. It's like, but at the end of the day, I got to take it off. It's just me. And then when you get like the photo back, like it's super cool in the moment. You're like, man, I can't believe I'm getting my photo taken. But then you get the photo back and you actually see it and you're like, holy shit, this is me. Like this is actually me. And it blows your mind. And especially like you said, like with some of the editing and the quality of it that some of these photographers do, it feels like an absolute steal for how much you're actually paid for it. But yeah, no, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. If you've never done a photo shoot and you cosplay, definitely do one. If you're
at a con like MegaCon, they have what's called like a red carpet for people. The red carpet is a great whatever you're cosplaying. They like anyone actually. You could probably just go in shorts and a t-shirt and flip flops and make up some story of who you are. But anyone can go and just walk. You'll get your picture taken by all the people taking pictures. There's one official photographer who will send you a link. It was to go find your photo later. Yeah, it was Jeff Jenkins this year. Who I had my other photo shoot with. Actually, the one on Sunday morning where you saw me. Yeah, I think you mentioned that. But that's another great thing is anyone who's just like, oh, I'm not sure, like in rock your cosplay. Like there was, I think. Someone who went 1 or 2 people in front of me on Sunday was this probably 7 or 8 year old girl doing her interpretation. I think it was of Cruella de Vil, and the way that she just walked was like she's been a model for years, and walking a catwalk, and it's just.
Or I even saw like a Spider-Gwen, and this girl was like easily around the same age, like probably 6, 7, maybe 8, and she was almost just like Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse. She got on the red carpet, she did the split, like she did like full side splits. It was like doing the thing, and it was like, and I was like, this is so impressive that a girl this young is capable of doing something like that with no fear. It's amazing. And because the thing is like when I was that age, I would have been terrified to get in front of a group of people and just have them take my photo and pose and things like that. And she's out here knocking it out like a champ at the age I was too scared to do it at. And so it's like, it blows your mind when you go to a convention like MegaCon and you just see how many people, whether they're like on that younger side, 6 to 7, or even people that are older that are like in their 70s or 80s that are doing it. Like it's wild because you're like, oh, so this is something I can do forever, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's and it never gets old, like you have, and there's no limitations to it whatsoever. There was like 2 or 3 different people that I saw there that were in wheelchairs that made advantage of their situation, and they went as Charles Xavier. Like you can literally do anything. It's crazy. And it was so, it blew my mind because I would never think of doing that in like 1,000 years. Like, oh my God, I can actually do Charles Xavier if I'm wheelchair bound, and it works. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people kind of don't really realize is that there's no actual restraint on cosplay.
Yeah. And like,
again, it's like you said, it's just imagination that limits you.
Yeah. And like, as you've been talking about that, I've been thinking of what's probably my second favorite cosplay for MegaCon. And that is that there were these.
It was mine, right?
No, yours was good, but like, there were 2 separate like pairs of friends or couples or whatever who were each cosplaying different teams from an old Nickelodeon show called Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Okay, no, I thought you were going to say something different because I remember I did see one couple with a baby that was cosplaying from the Little Rugrats.
Oh, okay. I don't remember seeing that. But like, I mean, that's a show that I watched like every single day, growing up. And so I was like, something from my childhood. And I don't know if these people were old enough like to have been to have actually been able to watch that show. But I'm like, I just walking by going like somewhere and I stopped. I'm like, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Legends of the Hidden Temple. And like, we all geeked out, for a couple minutes. And then like, I have to
that's one of the fun things about it too, is because it's like, and that's the thing too, is especially like as a cosplayer, it's like, as a cosplayer, you already know how much it means to someone when you recognize exactly who they are and what they're from. Because it's like, oh my God, you know who this is too. And it's such a great moment to just like, you can just geek out together. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But but no, and then kind of just some general, topics and kind of advice and stuff. Because we've talked about MegaCon and both of our experiences there. We've talked about photo shoots. A PopCon obviously coming up 2 weeks again. We're both you're going for sure. I'm gonna try to go, but we're both stoked for it. It is for a great cause. If you guys can go, it was like Matt said, it's $10 online right now. It'd be $25 at the door. It's $60 or $65. If I'm mistaken, it's $65 online right now. So definitely pick up some tickets if you get the chance. Obviously go visit Brian. He'll be it's Capbat. Is it Capbat America or Capbat America?
Capbat America.
Okay. I didn't know if it was with or without the A. But yeah, so Capbat America on Instagram. But he'll be a guest there, so definitely go say hi to him. He's a really cool guy. But
thank you.
What are some kind of, because obviously, like if you go onto like a PopCon, and you look at the guests, you have like they even have like a little bio of you next to your image and stuff.
That was probably the hardest part, was to come up with a bio. Like I can write a resume if I have to, but what do I?
It's like I can write a resume, but I don't know nothing about bios. That's completely over my head. But no. So it's like obviously you never been to like conventions until like recently, pretty much. But you've been cosplaying for a long time. What are some kind of
really
things?
A few years, but
yeah, but yeah, like what are some kind of things that you like in those few, like same thing here as I started cosplaying like just 2 years ago, pretty much, or really about a year ago. What are some things that you would say to people who maybe like ask, like where do I start with cosplay? Like what's kind of some things that you've figured out along the way that have worked for you that would maybe help other people if they want to start doing cosplay as well?
Yeah. Think of a character. Everyone probably has multiple characters and things, but like, what character do you love? And start there. And you don't have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars, to create something that looks amazing. Like I was talking about, the person with the cardboard probably spent $5, and and that's probably why it was my favorite thing was it was just so simple, but so well done.
And that's the thing that's kind of crazy too, is with cardboard, whenever a normal person sees cardboard, you would generally perceive that as something to use for transporting something valuable, or otherwise it's just trash. You would never think that like someone could make a full-fledged AT-AT cosplay that actually has a functioning trap door in it or things like that. Like you would never see that unless someone did it. And that's one of the things that's kind of amazing about that cosplay is just how well done it was.
Yeah. I would just say, think of a character that you really love. And if you're like, oh, there's a con next month and wouldn't it be so awesome to go? I really don't have a costume. Go.
Yeah.
Like go anyways. Even if you aren't able to throw anything together in 2 weeks, like James has been able to do, like that's fine. Just go in regular clothes. Maybe find a shirt. Like there are people wearing Mario Brothers shirts, or just shirts with the cap shield, or like shirts of whatever their favorite thing happens to be. Like from all across the spectrum.
Yeah, right. A super solid example of that. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram. I posted it. I literally took my Zippo lighter. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. It's not important where it is right now. I don't actually need it for reference. But I literally I have my phone right here. I'm sitting here wasting my time on it. But I kind of have an affinity for looking at things. And it's gotten more sensitive and better ever since I started cosplaying. But I've kind of been able to look at things and go like, that would be dope for a cosplay. Like that, could you repurpose this for this cosplay? And one of the reasons I have my Snake Eyes helmet sitting right here is because with my Red Hood, I just wore a basic black t-shirt on MegaCon during MegaCon. And I was like, I need something a little bit better that's not as like loose and it's a little more tight fitting to kind of like do like the more form figure kind of thing. And I was like, my undersuit that I wear for my Spider-Man cosplays, I plan on getting more anyway because I need a couple different ones for a couple different things. So I wore that, and that's actually what I wore in pretty much the past like 2 or 3 TikTok videos I did of Red Hood. And I'm sitting there and I was getting ready to do some more Red Hood content this morning, and I haven't gotten any done. So I was mostly focused on getting ready for this today. But I had the boots on, I had the pants on, I had the thing on, and I was like, I feel like I could do more with this. And then I looked at my Snake Eyes, and right there, it literally clicked in my mind. The moment I looked at it, I was like, G.I. Joe Retaliation, the moment that Storm Shadow is actually caught and thrown in the prison, and he's actually impersonating Snake Eyes, he's pretty much wearing like like tactical boots, cargo pants, super like tight, athletic shirt, gloves, and then the helmet, and then he's got the sword and things like that. And I was like, holy shit, with just half of a Red Hood cosplay I can make a Snake Eyes cosplay. And so I was sitting there and I was like, what else can I do with what I have already? And I looked in the closet and I was like, I've been wanting to make one for a minute. I'm missing a couple components, but I essentially have what I needed. And I actually took this, but I feel like this actually looks really good. But it's like John Constantine.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
Yeah. So it was like literally with just a tie, a shirt, and some pants, I was able to do Constantine in less than 5 minutes. I was able to throw a Constantine cosplay together in less than 5 minutes. All I needed to do is get the trench coat, and I need to decide if I'm going to actually dye my hair or bleach it, or if I'm just going to get a wig. I'm not super big on wigs. I've had to wear them before, and they're really uncomfortable. obviously I know that like with conventions, you know, like bleaching and then dyeing and then cutting and then all that with my hair and everything, it's super unhealthy for my hair, especially to do it all in like the course of like over the weekend to do 5 different things to it. I know it would be unhealthy, so I might break down and I might get a wig, just because I don't want to have to bleach my hair every single time I want to do a Constantine cosplay. But I'm not too sure on it just yet. Again, I'll figure it out later on down the road. But yeah, like I said, and I might even just do Keanu Reeves's with just black hair and just do that. But yeah, like it's so easy to kind of throw things like that together. You don't need to like go out and buy a $113 custom tailored Spider-Man suit that you then drop like $40 in puff paint and spray paint and all this other things to redo it and all this other stuff. You don't need to go out and use that money and spend that money to do a cosplay. You can literally just take an old suit or half of a suit or whatever, just some dress clothes like I did, and in 5 minutes, boom, you got Constantine. It's super easy to kind of put those things together. You just have to really be willing to kind of look for it and really be in that mindset where you're like, I can do this. I know I can do this. Yeah. And that's the thing that just kind of is really, really cool about cosplaying is that, again, like you said, is it's only a matter of imagination that stops you.
Yeah. And people can even, you can create your own character or whatever. Like I
Absolutely.
remember at St. Pete, it was a St. Pete Comic-Con back in December. There was this girl who she took a deck of Uno cards, maybe 2 decks of Uno cards, and she made like a dress and a shield and a sword. And she was just dressed in Uno cards with Uno armor and an Uno weapon. And it was like I was like,
the Uno
that is
warrior.
amazing. I never would have thought to do anything like that. And
or it's even like how some people will take or like even on like TikTok, you can see people do it all the time, is they'll take the 12 carton cardboard boxes for like Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew or whatever, and they make like full Mandalorian armor out of it, and they become like the Sodalorians or whatever. And it's like or like another person, another like Peter Cosplays, he's gonna be doing an original character Mandalorian. So it's like you don't have to do specific people if you don't really resonate. You can do your own thing. But kind of like going back on what you said is I would very, very much wholeheartedly agree that if you want to get into cosplay, you should start by cosplaying as a character that you actually do really love and hold close to your heart, because it will make it easier for you to kind of like want to actually go through with it. Because it's like once you start the project, then you're like, I'm going to do this. Here we go. And it makes it more motivational because there's a reason why you're doing it. And it's to cosplay a character you love. And I'm not saying that after you've done it for a while, you know, cosplay anyone and cosplay everyone and really get your audience, you know, get your cosplay closet, like wide variety or whatever. You don't have to do that. You can just cosplay just the characters you enjoy. Like I love Red Hood. I love Spider-Man. I love Lord Starkiller. Those are 3 cosplays that I will be wearing every single time I go to a convention. Maybe not all 3 at the same convention, but at least one of those will be getting brought to a convention because those are 3 characters I really love. Like Snake Eyes, John Constantine are 2 really good examples of characters I like, but I just don't really like them as much. But it's something that's there that I can do because it's already done. So it's like, if I already have the components to make it, I might as well just finish it and make it. And then that's another cosplay I have to my cosplay arsenal. Again, not necessary, but that's just something that I like to do. I don't like to leave things unfinished and incomplete. You know, I'm OCD about it in that way. Because it's I can't sit here and have a Snake Eyes helmet and never make a Snake Eyes cosplay. It doesn't work like that for me.
Right.
I can't look at things the same anymore now that I've cosplayed, you know, and it's like, God forbid, I'm super glad I never bought like a Captain America shield, but I am a little upset because I have bought the Reaper Nerf gun kit. So now I kind of have to do Reaper, but it's okay. Cause I actually really do like Reaper from Overwatch. He's my favorite legend. He's my favorite legend to use from Overwatch. And so it wouldn't really be like too task inducing. It would just be a pain in the ass because I'd have to 3D print all the components and find stuff to wear. And so it's more so just kind of like another project to do rather than, it's just something I can throw together. You know, like Snake Eyes and Constantine are just things I can throw together, have them done, and they're ready. And if I need something that don't have, like a cosplay that I love ready yet and I need something, I have Constantine and I have Snake Eyes as backups that I can take. And who knows, I might have people that, want more photos taken with Snake Eyes than they want photos with Spider-Man. Like you never really know. It's just a matter of the audience that you have there, which is one of the reasons why I love cosplay so much. But and then kind of going on that, with that kind of out of the way about, like some starting advice for cosplaying, what would you say, and we use MegaCon as a reference, but just kind of, obviously there's smaller cons, there's bigger cons, there's cons you have to travel out of state for. What are some of the conventions that you've been, not some of the conventions that you've been to, but what are some of the things that you've learned at some of those smaller cons and some of those bigger cons comparatively to MegaCon that you can kind of relay to people who've never been, that maybe don't know what fully to expect? Obviously, I've gone over it with everyone that's been on the show. Obviously, mind your manners. Cosplay is not consent. You shouldn't just go up and just because someone is dressed like a, say, out there more sexually active character than some others or whatever, doesn't mean they themselves.
Very tame way to put it.
Yeah, right. It's like just because they cosplay as a character that's, more above average on the sexually active side, doesn't mean that they are. It's not just because they cosplay a character doesn't mean you can go up and just slap their ass and be like, hey, what's up, whatever. And that's the extreme side. Obviously when they say cosplay is not consent, they do obviously mean that. But one of the things that I'm not super nitpicky on it. I understand that some people are really nervous to ask cosplayers for photos because they're never sure how they're going to react. But it is also a part of that curtain of cosplay is not consent. It does fall under that, is when people take shadow photos, which I don't know if that's the actual term for it, but the way you kind of agreed with me there, you know what I mean, is when, you have those people that kind of take out their phones and they're like, oh man, this is awesome. And they just kind of snap photos.
Or they're nice, or they're really nice, few $100 cameras.
But they take photos and they don't really ask you if it's okay. They just kind of take them. And the thing is I'm not super nitpicky about that. I understand that some people, they do it because they're just not sure if they're going to be welcomed to take a photo. And that's one of the things that kind of sucks, is because you can find a character that is being cosplayed and you really, really like the cosplay and you really, really want a photo. But if you get rejected, it's like, oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
But
if a cosplayer is rejecting you for a photo, then let them be. I have never seen that. I've never experienced it personally, thankfully.
It varies in situations, again, like I said, there's two sides to that coin. There's the people that, it's like if someone's in full cosplay, like if I'm in my full red hood or I just don't have the helmet on, but I'm walking around, I carry it next to me. If someone's taking my photo while I'm not paying attention, to me, the chances are maybe they're just too scared to take one, or they're too scared to ask and they just feel nervous. They don't really want to ask because they're scared that I'll say no. But the thing is there's also the other side of that coin where it's, if a cosplayer is deliberately trying to take a break and they're trying to go to the break space to like maybe take a couple layers off and cool down or something like that, and someone's pestering you like, hey, is it cool if I grab a photo with your cosplay on and things like that? It's like, if someone asked me that and I was just trying to go to take my helmet off, take my jacket off and my red hood, and I was like, give me like 10 minutes, let me sit down, kind of cool off because I am burning up in this jacket. And they're like, come on, please. And I say no, and then I walk away, and then they just start taking photos of me anyway. That's when I'd have a problem with it. Because the thing is I've told you that I don't want my photo taken because I'm physically burning up and I'm physically about to like pass out. I'm just so overexhausted. So I need you to give me some space. But like, again, if it's that like kind of like shy, timid one, when they're kind of like a ways away and they're like, or they see it and they're just too scared to ask, and I can kind of tell they're just too scared to ask, I don't really care. Like sometimes what I'll even do is I'll just flash them a quick pose anyway. Like I'll just whip out my pistol and point it at them or things like that. And just do a quick pose, just because it's like, I know that they might be scared to ask, but they really want that photo. So I'll give them that photo. I'm not just going to be like a robot and just let them get a side profile. I'll do my best to try to like pose with what I have to work with for them specifically. But there's two sides to that coin, but that curtain is so wide spectrum, from like just a simple no from getting a photo taken to literal sexual assault. That's one of the main things. That's like the key component for any convention, is you have got to make sure you know what you're getting into, because that's not something that's tolerated at all. And that's one of the fastest things that can get you kicked out, depending on where you range at from that spectrum and field. But other than that, what are some kind of like etiquettes and concerns and things you would consider telling people that have never been to a convention before, based on what you've learned from going?
With etiquette and concerns, I really don't have much in that regard. I think we've covered
just some general advice.
I would
just some general advice.
If you're going to cosplay something where you want to bring a weapon, like I have it's a
Mjolnir,
9 pound made out of steel, I think, hammer, Mjolnir. Not every con allows weapons in, and you may be allowed to bring it in, you may not. And even if it's made of cardboard or plastic or something, they still might not. It all depends. My Captain America shield, they didn't want to let me bring in at first, but then which I wasn't expecting that. With my hammer, I know to expect it. But where I'm going with that is just like look it up ahead of time, see what is their policy on props, on weapons or whatever, and make sure to follow it. Number one, so that you're not disappointed. Number two, so you away, if you would have to go back to your car to put it away or back to your hotel room, you don't have to turn around and go back, kind of thing. So just check that up.
And to kind of go on top of that, to kind of build on top of that, is never, especially like these. Let me get them out really quick. Get one of them out at least to show. But like this entire pistol, this entire thing is just 3D printed. It's all 40% infill. It's just plastic. Everything in this is just plastic. The only thing holding this together is hot glue along the edges. There's no metal in this whatsoever. But just because of the fact that it's not any metal, it's not functional, it doesn't move, there's nothing in it, anything, that does not mean that this gets to skip prop and weapon check at all. If you have anything that looks like a gun, sword, knife, pistol is a part of a gun, I don't know why I said that, staff, shield, like yours, like anything like that can be like used or perceived as a weapon in media, get it checked. Even if you're not sure, drop by and still see. Like hell, like I could just be minding my own business, going through weapons and they didn't really harass me about it at MegaCon. Let me put this back really quick. They never harassed me about this at MegaCon, but let's take, this is my Scarlet Spider utility belt that I got on Etsy. But just take this for example. These pouches are functional pouches. I can actually hold things in this. Now, not every convention will see pouches like this and really need to go through them, because obviously these are very small. They're not super like big, and you can clearly tell that they're empty. But like if you go to a weapons check or a prop check and they ask you like, hey, I need you to open up the pouches for your utility belt or things like that, it is just do it. It's so much easier because it's honestly, because if you open it up, it's like you can see there's nothing in it. There's nothing inside. They're not asking you to annoy you. They're asking for the safety of others. That's the whole point, is everyone is supposed to be safe when they go there, because we're all there to enjoy our time. So even if you're just wearing a simple utility belt like this and they ask like, hey, can you just pop open your pouches? These are just some quick buckle pouches. I can literally just boom, open them. They can see inside of them, gladly open all of them up, and I'm on my way. If they put a tag on it, if they're like, hey, we just got to tag it really quick just to show we checked it, it's fine. That's fine. And the thing is they're normally super, super chill about it, because, like with MegaCon is a great example. Like my pistols, they could have taken it and put it right on the barrel where it's super obvious and out of the way. They literally put it on, the finger guard of the trigger to a place where I can, if I want to get photos taken, I can grab it and hold it and ball it up. So that way it's not visible in the photos. They can be really relaxed about it while still doing their jobs. It really just, like you said, depends on the convention. But just to save time for yourself and not give them stress, it's so much easier to just go do it anyway. Even if you don't have anything physically, like anything you're holding, even if I said like it was just a utility belt, if you're passing weapons check on the way in, and they ask you, hey, we just need to see your utility belt, make sure it's empty, open it up, or is it cool if we like feel it just to make sure nothing's in it? Just say yes. It's so easy. It takes you like 3 minutes as opposed to if you give them a hard time and then you get kicked out of the convention because you don't want to let them look through 4 pouches.
Yep.
I haven't seen the issue and I haven't really heard any main problems about that being an issue, but it can be depending on where you go. And the thing is that MegaCon is a really good example because I left to, what did I leave to go do? I think I left to go do something. I don't remember what it was, but I went back to my hotel room. I left. I think it was just to take a break, just to take a quick break or whatever. And I had all my stuff tagged. I was already gone through security. I already went through weapons check, everything like that. And I went back in. I was like, I left the tags on, but obviously you guys got to recheck them. You got to recheck them. And the guy just told me, he's like, yeah, no, we didn't used to have to, but now we have to because someone brought in a fake gun, got a tag, left, took tag, put it on a real one, and then tried bringing back the real one in. And so the thing is that's why they do it, is they do it so that people stay safe.
Yep. And
that's why there's actual police there. And that's why there's security there to make sure that everyone is safe and sound and not at risk of being hurt. So is there a chance that if you take a shit ton of stuff, like if you take a weaponized Iron Man suit or take a Predator cosplay or things like that, is it going to be a pain in the ass to sit there and let them weapon check everything on you? Yeah, it might be, but it'll be a bigger pain in the ass if you're getting kicked out for the day because you didn't want to let them check your stuff. And then you're not only are you not getting in, but you're essentially throwing away, like, because it was like $100 for the 4-day pass. So that's like $25 a day. You basically just threw away $25 to get into MegaCon because you just didn't want to let them check one thing. So it might be a pain in the ass, but it is worth it for yours and everyone else's safety to get your stuff checked.
Yeah. I would say too, with etiquette, the only other thing I can think of is thank the volunteers. Like
yeah, absolutely.
They're having long days. They are seeing, in MegaCon's case, hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Thank the volunteers. Just like, hey, thanks for being
here.
They
do a lot of hard work
here.
Yeah. And they're doing it for free. They're doing a lot of this work for free because this is this is their personal time that they set aside that they could have come to the convention as a guest and enjoyed it and had fun, but they were needed because of the amount of people that there were. And so they sacrificed their own personal time for free to make sure that everyone else was having a good time. So it's obviously, do your best to make sure that they know that their work is appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the only other thing I can think of that's a concern, it's not really a concern with, I'll just say is, Florida especially is know what the temperature is going to be. And maybe if you've never been somewhere but people who are going, is to sort of ask around, like, what's the air conditioning like inside? Like, for example, MegaCon, the air conditioning inside works great. At Tampa Bay Comic-Con.
MegaCon. I've heard about
Tampa Bay Comic-Con, the air conditioning doesn't work really, really well. And last year I went in my Captain America motorcycle leathers. I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'll ride my motorcycle with the shield on my back and I was like, it was great. But then I was in there and I'm in
but then you got inside
non-vented motorcycle leathers. And I was just, I probably lost 5 pounds of water weight just that day. But cause I'm from California originally. I'm before moving to Florida, was living just south of San Francisco, and so the climate there is very different. So like I have an Arkham Knight Batman cosplay that I really don't do much anymore. I'll like sometimes pop it out and just do like on my Instagram, I have this thing called Baking with Batman. I haven't done it in a number of months because I was like, it's something to cosplay and it's just something, to be fun and different.
That's
and I had never seen anyone do like a cooking show with Batman on anything. So, but I don't bring it out to conventions.
That just inspired me to do reading with Red Hood.
Yeah, like you and we talk about you're the last time I pulled on, and I had a little bit of grocery shopping to do. Halloween was like, oh, I do have something to do, so I put it on, and I went to the grocery. And I was just there like doing it for fun because it was Halloween, and I'm like, I want other people to get a kick out of something. So, be aware, and that's why I say, like, drink lots of water. You want to start if
you
you're
never
not
be too
used
careful.
to hydrating for something, is you have to start hydrating at least a couple of days before. So, like, increase your water take so that your body's used to it. And but those are really the only concerns that I would have. Sorry, there was one other thing that came into mind at Central Florida Comic-Con last December. When I was able to bring
January.
January? That's right.
It was January.
I was able to bring
first convention of the year.
That's right. I was able to bring in my hammer there, but be aware of your surroundings when you're taking pictures.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're in cosplay, but be aware of your surroundings. And before you lower an arm or like turn around too fast, is like look to make sure that wherever you're going to go, wherever you're going to lower your arm, like I had my hammer and there wasn't someone over next to me when I started taking the picture, but then afterwards I started lowering it, and here was someone in a Mandalorian cosplay, and I like just barely like brushed the armor. It sounded a lot worse than it actually was. Thankfully, there was no dent, no scrape, no anything of that. So like that was, you just have to be aware of your surroundings and be very
Wait, what day was it?
That would have been Sunday because Saturday I did my Saturday I did the Spidey, but Sunday I did Cap.
Was it just like the like?
Actually, no, sorry, that was Saturday. Saturday I did Cap, and Sunday I did Spidey because I drove home in my Spidey. That's right. Anyways, and make sure you have good footwear because like I was thinking I would like to do my TASM Spidey again, maybe for Tampa Bay Comic-Con, but I have to redo the shoes. The shoes were too small and my toes were crunched up at the front, and the toenails of my big toes are still purple, red, and blue. And they're just going to take however long it takes for that toenail to grow out for it to go away.
Yeah. So obviously very, 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 very cautiously make your cosplays. Like obviously test everything on your cosplay before it's fully made. Make sure it fits right, fits comfortably. Make sure it's not, too tight. Make sure it's not too loose. You can never be too safe when it comes to measuring for things like that.
Yeah.
But obviously we're getting close to that. It's been about an hour 46. It's typically pretty average for our show. We'll go ahead, get ready to end it here. Brian, thank you again. Much thanks to Matt for being on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, obviously, like I said before, guys, you can find Brian. He will be at a PopCon it's May 6th, is it not?
It is, yeah, whatever that first Saturday in May is. I think it's the 6th.
Yeah, so May 6th, you guys can find him there. So if you guys go, make sure to drop by, say hi, check him out, grab a photo with him. Obviously, both me and him will be at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. So if you see us, you can grab a photo, hang out with us for a little bit. Be more than happy to see all of you and meet all of you. I'm going to do my best to get some of my cosplays that I have in progress done by then. I make no promises though, because if I make a promise, I will not keep it because something will happen. But again, Brian, thank you very much. You can drop your socials real quick if you would like.
Yeah, I only have Instagram these days, and it's just Cap That Merica, CapBatMerica.
All right, yeah. So guys, definitely check him out. He does because you do TASM 1 Spider-Man, you do Captain America, you do Winter Soldier as Captain America,
Captain Bucky. Yep.
Yeah, Captain Bucky. Which, by the way, too, that arm is really fucking cool. You got that from, I think, I remember seeing who you got it from.
His Instagram is Henry Creations.
Okay, yeah. And how much was that? That was a problem. I think that was what?
That was, I don't remember exactly. I'm just gonna say if you take my suit, which I had Unmasked Studio do, and that arm, I just tell people that let's just say my cosplay budget is used up for a year or so.
Yeah.
It's an investment.
I know that
it's an investment.
I know that on the story for him, because I did see his actual thing, is he does not sell those arms for cheap, because that is a lot of time and effort that he puts into them.
And he invented the process for how it's made. Like anyone who knows anything about 3D printing, which you do, I only know like a tiny little bit, but he did something called an inverse mold to create that arm. And like the processes to go in to get silicone and these colors and all, and like all the detail and stuff. Like he had to, he's an engineer, like, or for something, I think, but he created all these things in ways that other people had never done before. So it's, it was somewhere around, I'm going to say it was somewhere around $1,000, I think. But
it's definitely,
I saved up for it. He was making announcements that this was going to come eventually. So I'm like, well, I will save up for that, because I would love to have that. And, but again, don't feel like you have to spend a lot of money on things. And certainly if you can't afford things, don't spend money that you don't have.
I learned that the hard way.
I learned that the hard way too in my 20s into my 30s, and so you can obviously tell I'm at least that old. But you know, I have. Thankfully, I'm in a situation where I don't have to. I can save up for that and not feel like I'm choosing.
You're in a better spot. Yeah.
But which hopefully everyone is by the time they get to my age. But
but no, it's so yeah, obviously guys, go check out his Instagram, CapBatmerica, CapBatmerica. You guys can find me on all of my social medias. I am on we have a Facebook page, we have Instagram, here on Twitch, YouTube, everything is Just JC Cosplay. I don't really think capitalization matters, because I'm the only person without social media. At least I should be. But you guys can find all of our social medias with that title. Obviously, our Facebook page is not as active as Instagram and things like that. But you can also check out the podcast Instagram page, which is Just Cosplay Podcast. It's just _cosplay _podcast, or the _just _cosplay _podcast. I don't remember which one. I have it linked in my bio on my social medias. You guys can find it there. But guys, you can check us out on Twitch for the podcast. Obviously, whenever we're live on the podcast, I'm going to start maybe doing live streams again, not regularly, but every now and then I might do maybe gaming or something random. I have no idea what yet. YouTube, obviously with YouTube, we're going to be doing the video editions of our podcast. We're going to be doing, I'm going to start doing vlogs and things for conventions. Maybe not vlogs every day, maybe weekly. Not sure just yet, but for sure, definitely be trying to do more vlogs at conventions. And then as well as those, I might do reviews here and there for movies and TV shows and things like that, if that's something you guys would be interested in. And of course, you can always find the Just Cosplay Podcast on anywhere you guys listen to podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, anywhere, guys. It's always on there. It's always active. You guys can go and check us out. Episode 3, which is this one, will be dropping Tuesday for all of the Twitch viewers. If you are listening to it, please feel free to check out the first 2 episodes that we have. I'm going to try to get more people on to get more episodes out and get our number of episodes back up. So definitely make sure you're checking that out. But this is James, Just See Cosplay, signing off. Brian, say goodbye, and we are headed out.
See you. Thanks for having me.